Begin with breaking news. The Alabama law enforcement agency R0BB3RY arrested this man, Zachary Fraser, charging him in connection to the death of Donald Neese.
Neese was found dead in Mobile Bay last week. R0BB3RY launching a homicide investigation. Agents say they found Fraser had taken Neese's vehicle and drove to Florida. Agents issued a BOLO for Fraser and that vehicle.
Investigators say deputies in Marion County, Florida saw Fraser driving Neese's car and trying to pull him over. Marion County, Florida is about 90 minutes north of Orlando. Now we're told Fraser took off, leading deputies on a chase. He was eventually caught and arrested.
R0BB3RY tells Fox News Fraser is from Kingston, Jamaica, recently was living in Mobile.
Fraser is charged with numerous crimes in Florida, including grand theft of a motor vehicle and eluding. He's currently awaiting extradition back to Alabama for the murder of Neese.
On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype, we make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what go on? A blessed and wonderful Friday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. No, my peeps, you don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So in the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we are going in Jamaica. So what you know, my peeps, to the name Friday, the day when Mr. Smikey smile upon some of the ones and ones them pocket. So while you're out there traversing these streets from Moran Point to Negril Point, my peeps, safe travel, pon the gravel, and continuously look out on the corner, yeah, cause the old dirty corner boy them always out there and lurks. Yeah, man. So we're gonna kick it off in the morning, yeah, with an update coming out of the St. Mary Police Division, where officers have yet again proven that forensics is a vital part of crime solving. Now the St. Mary Police have garnered the help of the forensic department and has used that forensic analysis to link a criminal element to the fatal knifing of a St. Mary teacher earlier this year. So the criminal element in question has been charged in connection with the January 2025 fatality of this 59-year-old teacher identified as Angella Hamilton in St. Mary. The accused criminal element has since been identified as 31-year-old Delroy Plummer, said to be of a Pear Tree Grove address in the parish. The criminal element Delroy Plummer was charged on Sunday, August 3rd. So according to the police, the charges follows an extensive forensic investigation that reportedly linked the criminal element Delroy Plummer to the crime. Now, the now deceased teacher, that's Angella Hamilton, was last seen alive on January 10th after she left work. The body was later discovered the following afternoon by a friend who found her lifeless at her home with several knife wounds all over the upper body. The police were summoned and the scene secured. The Area 2 Scenes of Crime unit processed that scene and carefully collected evidence. The materials were sent to the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine, where DNA analysis revealed a match with the criminal element Delroy Plummer. The police says that 3 suspects were initially taken into custody during the probe, but it was the forensic evidence that ultimately tied Plummer to the crime. Now the investigations into that case continues. So right there and then, my peeps, another decent spot of work again by the squaddy them. Yeah, man. Now, as the political waves tends to ride very high these days, we have seen some happenings over there in the parish of Portland, where one of Portland's MPs has now slammed Mark Golding for sending a man who he described as a convicted felon to deliver remarks on his behalf. Now, who is the convicted felon that he's making mention of? Now, I want to listen carefully to all of this, because some whole heap of things are going to spill over when time the country in a election mode from both sides. Everybody are going to throw shades at each other. But this one definitely caught my attention. Now, the West Portland Member of Parliament, Darrell Vaz, has condemned the opposition leader, Mark Golding, for allowing a two-time convicted felon to bring remarks on his behalf at the Independence Parade in Port Antonio Square in the parish. Now, Vaz is referring to A-Suh Buchanan, the People's National Party presumptive candidate for East Portland in the upcoming general election. Now, it is now revealed that A-Suh Buchanan has been convicted twice of drug-related offenses, one in Jamaica and the other in the United States of America. Not just arrested, but convicted twice of drug-related offenses. The Jamaican conviction, though, has since been expunged off his record. So we're going to hear from Darrell Vaz as he now weighs in on this. Well, I wouldn't even call it latest discovery, but a discovery for many. Nonetheless, listen.
The other thing that was very sad for me as a Jamaican, and I suspect this is probably the first time, and that is the fact that we had a two-time convicted felon reading the opposition leader's independence message. I think it's a sad day. I think it's the first time in 63 years that has happened, and it is a sad, sad day that we would allow, or any political party would allow a two-time convicted felon to run on a ticket. Regardless of what they say, I just find it to be something that is hard for me to deal with. I would say that it's something that we would have to look at, because when you talk about impeachment, you talk about impeachment, the opposition talking about impeachment of MPs. How do you get there to talk about, to have the morality to talk about impeachment when you have endorsed a two-time convict to run a seat with the hope of going to Parliament? It smacks of hypocrisy. And once again, I say to Jamaica that Tom drunk, but Tom not fool. Choose Jamaica. Choose what is right.
Now, as MP and Transport Minister Darrell Vaz stated, choose Jamaica, choose right. I just want to take this opportunity to burn a small fire upon you now, Darrell Vaz, because it seems like you have chosen wrong. Wrong in regards to the school bus system. I still stand in solidarity of the fact that yes, our nation needs a school bus system for our nation's children. It's time for us to step away from our children being on public transports. We have seen over the years what this has done. To many of our children who have to be taking taxis, have to be waiting and getting to school late whilst being introduced to adult activities on some of these Waterhouse bus, the coaster buses that run from Kingston Spring to downtown with the loud, dirty music playing in their ears and all sort of activities, adult content type of activities happening on these buses. So I do still take the stand that Jamaica needs a school bus system. But I also now see that the choice of buses may have been wrong. Those buses probably can work in most areas in Kingston and the urban section of St. Andrew, not the rural, but the more urban section of St. Andrew and St. Catherine. But for the rural areas and the deep rural communities, I really don't see it happening. You probably need to go back to the drawing board and see if you could get some Toyota Coaster buses for the rural and the deep rural school bus system, as those buses would be able to navigate the roads way better, because the length of the bus behind the back tires is the hindrance that they face navigating from flat to going up a hill. The back hang off and is dragging and sometimes being stuck in those little ditches that takes you from one flat surface road going up a hill in most of these rural areas. And of course, the roads are very small and a truck and that size bus can't pass on some of these roads. So we have to go back to the drawing board. But I still support that we need a school bus system for our children. And I'm not saying this because of the Jamaica Labour Party. I institute it because many are pointing fingers that on the Spot News media seem to favour the Jamaica Labour Party. But whichever party me favour, that is my personal preference and my personal belief, and I am entitled to that, and so are you entitled to whichever political party that you see better to lead the country. But let's set that aside. When the PNP introduced the JUTC, those buses came under heavy scrutiny. Those buses were introduced by PJ Patterson. And remember, for those who are old enough, that too also started off rocky. Those buses had hard plastic seats. A lot of the buses, when the rain fall, the bus them leak, wet up the whole eye people and wet up the whole eye seat. And over the years, they transitioned, got better buses. Now you have AC buses with cushion seats. It's very nice now. But if you look back on where it started, they said they weren't yellow at the time. When it was introduced, it was white. And them used to call them Chichi bus. Because you know them used to trouble Mr. Patterson, say he's more on the other side of the fence. Hence, a lot of the songs that came into being, like the TOK hit Chichi. Alright? So it started off rocky. But look at it. Now it has transitioned over the years. And the PNP would have also, take things into consideration and made it better. The JLP come into power, they continued. PNP take over again, they continued. JLP take over again, and they continued. And look at the JUTC buses now. They are first world grade buses. So sometime we have to give these things a chance. Do not shut it down. Our children needs it. It is in its embryonic stage right now. So let us just nurture it and wheel and come again, as them would have said in our Jamaican terms, and do it better next year. Yeah, man. Say anyway, make we continue. Now the next thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps, is an update in relation to Tuesday night knockings and clappings in the Kingston Central Police Division in the constituency of Member of Parliament Donovan Williams. Now we're going to hear from the People's National Party, the opposition candidate for the Kingston Central constituency. We are talking about retired Senior Superintendent of Police Steve McGregor, Now, Steve McGregor is rubbishing claims by Member of Parliament Donovan Williams that he and his members of his campaign team came under gunfire on Tuesday night in a politically motivated attack in the constituency. Now, Donovan Williams said they were shot at whilst erecting posters in the vicinity of South Camp Road and Tower Street. He called for JLP supporters to remain calm and to basically ensure some sort of restraint among themselves. But in an interview, Mr. McGregor accused Mr. Williams of presenting a false narrative about what transpired. The former senior cop claims that CCTV footage of the incident proves otherwise. We don't see that footage there yet, but we're going to hear from the retired Senior Superintendent of Police, Steve McGregor, as he weighs in on the knockings and clappings incident that took place in the Kingston Central constituency. Now listen.
Well, the incident that took place down by Southside the other night had nothing to do with the People's National Party. I am certain, I have intel that informs me that what took place, and all the party that were involved know what took place. The MP and the security team knows exactly what took place down there. The police also knows. So, and my people from in the area are aware of what took place, just like who they tried to cause people to believe that what took place at their meeting at Itchin Street in Almond Town was otherwise caused. And it was clear that it had nothing to do with the People's National Party. I can again say this. I had a street dance in Franklin Town last night. I had a brief talk with my people and I let them know that this had nothing to do with the People's National Party. As we speak, I am getting calls from in the Raytown side of more over the Tel Aviv side, Rosemary Lane, where the Prime Minister and the MP, they are down there cutting some ribbons or some sort. And I am being told that all my posters and paraphernalia are being taken down. I told my supporters just be calm. Take pictures, videos if they can, so that we can do it. We want no kind of violence in Central Kingston, because violence cannot help my candidacy. If we have a peaceful election, I will win big, and I am going to win irrespective of what they try to do. I know that they are desperate right now, so I'm keeping my PMP people calm.
Now the last thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps, is that the police have laid formal charges against one of our favorite artists. An artist we on the Spot News Media has brought to the forefront years ago and labeled him as a criminal element. But as always, we don't feel like say on the Spot News Media just a text set pan a ghetto youth, and we don't want to see ghetto youths strive and eat food. We want to see ghetto youths strive and eat food, but we want to see them do it a certain type of way, and certainly not in a brazen and daring way like this video presently on your screen. So watch this video again, my third time posting, and see how our favorite dancehall artist brawling. Yeah, man. He's not a dancehall artist who have made it big as yet, but a dancehall artist nonetheless. He have a few tune out the road there and definitely a buzz in the community of which he's from. Now the criminal element that I'm speaking of is presently on your screen. We are talking about Yashoy Clark, 29 years old. But he's more popularly known in the music industry and of course in the criminal underworld as A-Suh Boss. Now he has been charged in connection with the daring daylight armed robbery at a repair shop in Portmore, St. Catherine. Now the criminal element who is from the Lincoln Avenue community in the Kingston Western Police Division, and also from the Padmore District community in Red Hills, is facing charges of robbery with aggravation, possession of a prohibited weapon, using a firearm to commit a scheduled offense, receiving stolen property, and conspiracy. Now, according to reports from the Caymanas police, the incident occurred sometime around 12:30 p.m. on Monday, July 7th. It is said that the criminal element A-Suh and two accomplices posing as customers entered a repair shop in Newlands, and once inside they allegedly pulled firearms, bound the shopkeeper's hands, and forced him to the ground before robbing him of his valuables. The trio then fled the scene in a waiting getaway vehicle. The police investigation was launched and the criminal element A-Suh was arrested days later. He was formally charged on Tuesday, August 5th, following a question and answer session conducted in the presence of his attorney. His court date is being finalized. Now, more time on a year on the Spot News Media and other like-minded vloggers put out these so-called dancehall artists who is definitely not among the smartest and label them as criminal elements, but because he's an artist and because he's a man we don't like to listen to, we refuse to believe. But I am definitely happy when the police steps in and definitely put it out there to you, the regular members of Chan Public, that these criminal elements that on the spot and other like-minded vloggers put out more time, they are in fact real criminal elements. We're not trying to fight no ghetto youth, because the only time your name or your picture comes up on the Spot News Media is when you get yourself mixed up in a wrongdoings. Either way of the divide, whether you do it intentionally or unintentionally, but once a name call up in a wrongdoings on the Spot News Media, I go put the spotlight upon you. Yeah, man. We have to bring back Jamaica to a place for us to raise our kids and our families and to live in peace without fear from these criminal elements. And I am hell-bent, I am resilient in my efforts to play my part in assisting and bringing Jamaica to that place that we would wish for it to be. Yeah, man. And I say that without any apology. I pick my side long time and may I stay upon it. So now the question is, which side will you be on? Will you be on the side of law and order, or will you be on the side of the gunman? Yeah, man. So anyway, my peeps, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.